Breaking news out of Texas, Bigfoot is real, according to
The FBI investigates many serious problems, from domestic intelligence to election interference, but Bigfoot?
Bigfoot exhibits nocturnal behavior, perhaps to hunt or to avoid detection.
Minutes ago, an Expedition Bigfoot researcher yelled, "You won't believe what Bigfoot just did to me." It all started with strange footprints in the woods, but what they saw next was shocking. A figure moving through the trees, no flashlight, no noise, just pure mystery. Was this the proof they've been looking for, or something even more terrifying? Tune in to tell you what happened when Bigfoot threw rocks at them, leaving everyone shocked. Could this finally be the moment they catch Bigfoot? Don't miss it. Tales of the Giant from America's Woods. People often say Bigfoot likes to move around at night, maybe to find food or stay out of sight. Recently, a Bigfoot fan shared that they finally saw one, and this sparked a lot of excitement. In Washington, there have been over 600 reports, and in California, there are more than 400. For the fan and their father, this seemed like undeniable proof. They were convinced by a video showing a figure walking through the woods at night without a flashlight. Across the United States, there have been more than 10,000 similar reports, making Bigfoot one of the most talked about mysteries in the wild. Just when they thought they had the answer, something unexpected happened.
And what's interesting about this nest is there was a large one and a small one.
What did they really see? Find out later. Bigfoot is famous for being hard to find, and this has intrigued outdoor lovers for years. To finally prove it exists, people would need to find real evidence, like a body or DNA. The natural world, with its lions, tigers, and beautiful landscapes, is always amazing to us. But it's the hidden mysteries, like Bigfoot, that truly fire up our imaginations and keep these stories alive. Throughout history, we've been enchanted by stories of mythical creatures like unicorns, mermaids, and dragons. As time went on, these creatures seemed to disappear, hiding away in the more remote parts of the world. But the tales of these beings, especially Bigfoot, haven't gone away, especially here in the United States. Bigfoot is often described as a tall, hairy creature with some human features living in the deep forests of North America. It's been part of American folklore for a long time, fascinating people in both the US and Canada. Though many are still skeptical due to unclear or weak evidence, the stories and debates continue. But this isn't the most surprising part. Despite the lack of solid proof, the interest in Bigfoot keeps growing. Just look at Tony Harris, a lively TV host who dives into these strange and mysterious topics. His excitement shows just how fascinated people still are with proving the existence of creatures like Bigfoot, which have become a big part of North American culture and mystery. Tony and his team are always on the lookout for clues to unravel old, mysterious stories. They explore the wild, untouched areas of North America, wandering into deep forests and remote spots that most people would avoid. With every new piece of information they gather and every story they hear, things only get more interesting. As they dug deeper, they met many people who were also passionate about these mysteries. These people were eager to share their findings, from blurry video footage to vivid stories about strange encounters. While many skeptics dismissed physical evidence like odd footprints or strange hair, he and his crew saw them as signs that there might be some truth to these tales. Their journeys were tough, often trekking through thick woods and rough terrain, but the excitement of possibly discovering something real kept them going. Every trip brought new discoveries, but also left them with more unanswered questions. During one of these adventures, he crossed paths with Stacy Brown Jr., a dedicated investigator and filmmaker from Crawfordville, Florida. His fascination with the unknown began with his father. They spent many nights camping in the wilderness, talking about everything from UFOs to mysterious creatures. These trips not only sparked his curiosity, but also strengthened his bond with his dad. They often stayed out late, with new adventures kicking off as the stars came out. One day, he suddenly suggested they head into the woods.
Are you deer or coyotes? They'd be moving around.
These last-minute trips added fuel to his already growing interest, especially since his small town was full of tales about strange beings. But he had no idea that one particular trip would change his life forever. In the outdoors, he felt a deep connection with nature. a feeling he never got in the city. The wilderness sharpened his instincts and gave him skills he thought would help in his search. But even with all his experience, nothing could have prepared him for the terrifying event he and his father faced in the summer of 2012. That night, even though the tension was high, he kept his cool. Still, he couldn't shake the regret of leaving his dad's new thermal camera behind. If he had brought it, he might have seen the fear that gripped his father when the camera suddenly stopped working. At that moment, his father, who was a former Army Ranger, asked him if he had a weapon, something he had never done before. The fear in his dad's voice was clear, sending chills down his spine. But this wasn't even the scariest part. Despite the fear, they managed to make it back to their truck safely, though their curiosity about what had happened that night only grew stronger. He and his dad were filled with intense energy that made them forget their earlier nerves. Later, when they reviewed the infrared video, they noticed something strange that hinted they might have been close to seeing the creature. This really shook him, and he was determined to go back. Suddenly, their camera stopped working, and he urgently told his dad, "We have to leave now. Do you have your weapon?" They felt like they needed to know more about their strange experience, which might have seemed normal to others, but left. One chilly morning, they went back into the woods, this time with only a camera, hoping to catch something unusual. They headed toward a part of the forest known for strange sightings. As they walked deeper, the thick fog and tall trees made it feel like it was almost night, even though it was still day. Out of the corner of their eyes, they saw something move in the shadows. Nervous but excited, they took a photo of what they believed was the creature. He and his dad felt something was still out there. The deeper they went, the more they knew their search wasn't over. The hunt for a hidden monster. This forest was known for its mysterious atmosphere and had long attracted people interested in local legends. Stories about the creature had been around for years, drawing curious visitors from far away. Most of the sightings happened near a stream that ran through the heart of the forest, where strange footprints had been found before. That morning, the air was cold, and the only sounds were the crunch of leaves underfoot and the distant calls of birds. As they moved deeper into the woods, the feeling of being alone grew stronger, surrounded by old trees covered in moss.
Looks like a little footprint right here. He's just little juvenile. Oh, I'm falling.
He and his dad had heard stories from the town elders about strange howls and sightings of the creature, usually at dawn or dusk. Their goal was simple: to get a clear photo, something that would prove the creature was more than just a story. But this wasn't the most surprising part. Suddenly, a large, shadowy figure covered in thick fur crossed their path, walking on two legs, before quickly vanishing into the bushes. Their hearts were pounding as they went to check the spot. There, they found large, strange footprints in the soft dirt. The prints were much bigger than any animal they knew and had a unique shape. They took photos of the tracks, feeling both scared and thrilled. With this new evidence, he and his dad began to think about what they should do next. They had what they came for, proof, or at least something close to it. They headed back to town, feeling both excited and a little uneasy after encountering something so unusual. Their plan was to share their findings with a local group of enthusiasts and online, hoping to add to the ongoing discussions and maybe even get some recognition. But even though their adventure was over for now, many questions remained unanswered. They knew they would come back to the woods one day, still pulled by the mystery of what they had seen. This journey had not only given them an unforgettable experience, but also brought them closer to each other and to the strange world hidden in the forest. As he longed for another glimpse of the strange, tall creature, his excitement was clear. His dad, however, urged them to think about heading home due to his rising concern. Despite his dad's caution, he was thrilled by their discovery, a huge, hairy figure that growled from the forest's shadows. Convinced the creature was close by, possibly hiding just out of view, he pushed forward with their search. He believed they had come across something extraordinary, and this thought drove him to keep moving through the thick, tough forest. Even though he and his dad didn't feel ready to go back into the mysterious woods right away, they knew they needed more time to get ready for whatever might come next. Cliff, fearless and experienced, started planning an expedition to gather solid proof. Relieved but excited, he realized the challenge ahead was too big to face alone.
of time looking at information that perhaps we wouldn't have been exposed to otherwise.
Having an expert like Cliff lead the way was reassuring and took some pressure off him. Yet he knew their strange encounter wouldn't be the last. In the same forest, back in the summer of 2019, another local named Doug Teague had a similar shocking encounter. While walking his dog Daisy near his home in Hickory, North Carolina, Doug was startled to see a large, shadowy figure through the trees. He captured the moment on his phone, convinced he had seen the same creature he talked about. Trying to stay calm, he quickly left the area with Daisy, keen to reach safety. Once home, he took a moment to collect his thoughts before sharing his experience. He described the creature as huge, dark, and oddly shimmering with a silvery glow, similar in size to an 8-foot gorilla. His video, although not clear, seemed to confirm the size and shape of the figure he had seen, adding to the evidence that something truly unusual was living in those woods. Even today, no one can say for sure what the creature was. While everyone was eager to solve the mystery, they soon realized they weren't the first ones trying. The creature's story went back over 100 years. Doug, who had a recent sighting, described how the creature looked full of life right before he started recording. At first, he thought the knocking sounds in the distance might be from a bird pecking at wood. But his guess changed quickly when a rock was thrown at him, something that had happened in other stories too. This strange event, along with his video, added to the growing number of tales about the mysterious creature. But still, no solid proof had been found. Things got even more serious when, after dodging the rock, he walked down a hill and heard loud, rough noises. He thought these sounds might have come from the creature. People in the area often talked about hearing such noises, so he became even more careful as he moved through the forest. It wasn't easy to convince experts like Cliff Barackman, who had spent years studying creatures in the forests of North Carolina. Despite sightings going back to the 1800s, solid evidence was still hard to find. His story made them wonder if this was the moment they would finally understand what they had seen. The search for a strange creature in the woods. His story reminded him of something another researcher, Ken Gard, had told him about a creature called NY, which had been seen in the same area where he had his strange encounter. This connection made his experience even more interesting because it matched with many other sightings in the region. Driven by curiosity, he set up cameras and audio recorders throughout the forest, hoping to gather more evidence of the creature. His hard work paid off when he captured more footage and found large footprints in the wet soil one warm summer day. He quickly made molds of these prints, sure that they belonged to the creature. His new discoveries got everyone talking again, making the research team rethink their earlier ideas. The footprints had a unique pattern with two rounded shapes on the foot, which wasn't something humans usually had. This suggested that the creature had adapted to handle its weight and the rough landscape. Cliff was especially excited by his discovery and wanted to compare these footprints with another set of tracks they already had. But this wasn't the end of their journey. Tony, another member of the team, was both interested and a little doubtful. An experienced anthropologist was surprised by how real the footprint cast looked. The detailed shape of the toes made her think it might belong to a large creature living in the forest. She was convinced that he had found something real. However, not everyone shared her view. Lucy Eckersley, the wildlife expert on the team, was doubtful. She noticed the footprints were about 6 feet apart, which pointed to a large animal, but Lucy insisted they needed stronger evidence before jumping to any conclusions. As they moved deeper into the thick forest, their mission became more complicated. They carefully examined every clue they found. Each new discovery pulled them further into the mysteries of the forest, turning what seemed like a peaceful place into one full of untold stories. Even small sounds like a twig snapping made them more alert, as if the forest itself was watching them. But this wasn't the most confusing part. As they went further, the team started having more doubts about what creatures could be nearby. The different opinions between Kathy and Lucy created some tension in the group. Kathy quickly believed the footprints were from a large creature, while Lucy's demand for more proof kept them grounded in science. This balance between belief and doubt pushed them to look at every clue closely to avoid jumping to conclusions too soon. Their search led to more footprints and signs of movement, raising even more questions about the creature and its possible effect on the environment. Each new find added to the excitement of their investigation, making it about more than just proving the creature's existence. It was also about learning more about the forest itself, where every leaf and shadow might hide something interesting. The footprints suggested that the creature could be as tall as 15 feet. He had a video, but it was too blurry to confirm its size. However, the large footprints added to the growing mystery. During a team discussion, Lucy pointed out something strange in his footage. She noticed that his dog, Daisy, who was usually energetic, seemed unusually calm. Normally, a dog would bark or show signs of stress around a large, unfamiliar animal. But Daisy didn't, which made the team wonder if the creature in the video was the one they were looking for, or perhaps something more common, like a bear. But this wasn't the strangest thing. He mentioned that the creature had thrown rocks at him, which was unusual because bears don't have the ability to throw things. The creature was hunched over and covered in thick fur, adding another layer of mystery to their journey through the forest. At first, some people thought the fur spotted in the video belonged to a silverback gorilla. But this idea was quickly ruled out since silverbacks aren't found in the area where the video was filmed. This only added to the confusion. The team didn't stop there, though. They started wondering if they might have filmed something totally new to science. Even after watching the video over and over, he, Kate, and Lucy couldn't figure out if they had seen a real creature or if they had been tricked. But this didn't make them give up. Instead, it made them even more determined to find solid proof, even if it meant starting from the beginning. Some members of the team felt a bit discouraged, but the small chance that the creature in the video could be the legendary one they were chasing kept their spirits high. He and Kate in particular were hopeful, thinking their video might one day be proven real. As time went on, they became more certain that more evidence would show up. The team stayed focused, following every new clue with excitement and hope. They had definitely captured something strange on their thermal camera, and this odd sighting gave them even more reason to keep investigating. They stayed alert, always ready for the next lead that might bring them closer to figuring out what they had seen. But the strange part wasn't over yet. Their journey was fueled by the hope of finally uncovering the truth. The mystery of what they had found kept them excited and determined to follow every clue, eager to learn the whole story behind the odd sighting. Will he and Kate ever find out the truth they're searching for? Only time will tell, but they keep going, driven by the hope of revealing what really happened. Could Bigfoot really be out there, or is it just another myth? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more mysteries like this one.